This is my second vlogging test. I'm actually recording in my son's room. We were shooting a podcast for the Social Media Church podcast, and my wife and my family was kind of still sleeping a little bit, and so I just rolled in to one of my son's room who was already awake, and so I set up here. I shoot everything in our bedroom. I have like this wall. I got these tiles set up where I can shoot against, and so sometimes when I'm shooting things for the East Coast, the time difference in Pacific doesn't always work out where kids are up. Especially we've been kind of fighting a sickness, and so extra sleep helps a lot. So, but yesterday we had our experience with shooting 360 video. We bought this GoPro set that holds 6 Hero GoPros in it, and so it's 6 GoPros holding this deal, and then you buy the holder, and then you buy the software, and I think the holder is like $500, and then you have to buy the software that stitches it, and then that's like the software is like $800 or something. And so the idea is that you record with 6 GoPros. It's like a sphere looking thing, and then in post you stitch all 6 of it together, and you have 360. And what got us interested in it was, what got me most interested in it was the idea that you can record 360 video, and so on desktop or on your mobile phone you can look around. But then Android, the YouTube Android app has a VR mode, so any 360 video captured, you can go into VR mode and it will split it, and you can look around. And so that got me interested. That it's kind of like a poor man's VR, that you can have a VR experience that will also work on desktop, and then you can also make it. I don't think the iOS app has a VR mode yet, and so it probably should here very quickly. But overnight you're gonna have 100%, 300% increase of VR content, because you're gonna be able to look around. Obviously, it's not interaction, it's not Oculus Rift or anything, but it was so weird shooting for it because I came in to the studio to capture it, and you had this little camera sitting in front. So we shot in the studio, and I was gonna do this bit where I was just gonna, not a bit, but I was gonna do like a little bit of an intro of what the online community was about, tell a story about James and Becky, of some of my volunteers in San Francisco, and then say if you're interested. And the Braven on the video team said, well, like VR, 360, you have all these things going on, like you should do something else. And he kind of pushed back on me in a good way of like saying, there's like this other depth. And what it made me like, it kind of like scrambled my brain a little bit, because it's like, okay, like it asked the question, why shoot this in VR? In 360. Why do that? Why not just have it be a point and shoot, flat? And it was a good question, because it made me like, what's the good use of this medium, pretty much. And so we were looking around, and a lot of the 360 videos that do exist are kind of silly, where you're talking and then there's all these random things going on. And so I know that's the first evolution. There's been other things that I've seen, some good story mode, but it made me process like, okay, how can we leverage this good? What's a good use of it? So we talked about, what if we did a VR, not a VR, I keep saying VR because it's kind of like by default VR, but it's naturally 360 video. But what if we did I did a tour of all the campuses, and so like on our main campus, on our patio, what if I was just sitting there and I say, hey, this is our Lake Forest campus, this is what it looks like on a Sunday, and then I hop around to a bunch of our campuses. So in a way, with the online community, I would be highlighting our online to offline strategy. Is like, hey, check out how cool our campuses are, you need to come check it out. I know Life Church, I just saw this, there's a new campus launching, and they were there promoting it, and that's something that we want to do as well, is promote all of our campuses in a cool interactive way. But we're still messing around with it. So if you've seen a video or something that has inspired you to use 360 in a powerful way, send that to me. I think I want to tell story or leverage it in a unique way, not just be like deliver information, but interactive. And so we did something, we had some fun with it, where we played around with it. The video isn't ready yet, but if it is, you can look in the comment section or in the description. I'll put a link to our test once it's available. You also can, on my site, I'll be kind of sharing it as well. But anyways, that's what's going on today. It's my day off today, so I kind of did some podcast stuff that's side stuff, and I'm going to be hanging out with the family. So second vlog in the books.